But look, we're going to either make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon or...
Tehran refused to budge on uranium demands even as Trump pushed for control over Iran's nuclear stockpile. Iran rejected Washington's uranium conditions and insisted its enriched stockpile will stay inside the country. Tehran publicly denied claims that handing over uranium was ever part of negotiations with the US. Sources close to Iran's leadership revealed what Mojtaba really ordered to be done with the country's enriched uranium stockpile. Trump sharply escalated tensions with Tehran after making fresh remarks on Iran's nuclear program. The US president claimed Washington would ultimately take control of Iran's enriched uranium reserves.
Can they keep their highly enriched uranium?
No, we get the highly enriched. We will get it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll probably destroy it after we get it, but we're not going to let them have it.
Trump's comments highlighted the deep divide as Iran continued to insist its nuclear program is peaceful. According to Reuters, Iran's leadership has ruled out transferring the country's uranium stockpile overseas. The growing standoff over uranium is now complicating Pakistan-backed efforts to reduce tensions. Iran's supreme leadership has effectively banned the shipping of near-weapons-grade uranium abroad, hardening wartime red lines around the nuclear file just as ceasefire diplomacy falters. According to informed sources, Mojtaba Khamenei has ordered that all 60% enriched uranium must remain inside Iran's borders, removing export from the list of acceptable compromise options. Iranian officials say there is now a consensus within the system that near-weapons-grade uranium stocks have to stay in the country, reflecting a shared elite view rather than a narrow factional stance. Behind the scenes, Tehran's power brokers reportedly fear that shipping uranium out would leave Iran more vulnerable to future US and Israeli strikes, stripping away a key deterrent and bargaining chip. Earlier in the talks, Iran had signaled that it might be willing to ship out up to half of its 60% stockpile, hinting at a more flexible position before the latest shift. Reports now suggest that Tehran's stance hardened after Trump repeatedly threatened new attacks, with leaders deciding that visible concessions under fire would only invite more pressure. Iranian sources maintain that feasible formulas still exist to avoid further escalation, arguing that diplomacy is not dead even if export of uranium is off the table for now. One option reportedly discussed involves diluting enriched material under International Atomic Energy Agency supervision, reducing its purity while keeping it on Iranian soil. Before the latest Iran war erupted, the IAEA estimated that Iran held around 440.9 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60%, a stockpile large enough to remain central to every negotiation. Current reports estimate that a significant portion of the remaining material is still stored at facilities in Isfahan, one of Iran's core nuclear hubs. Additional highly enriched uranium is also believed to remain inside the Natanz complex, which has been at the heart of past sabotage, talks, and threats. Tehran continues to insist that these stocks are needed for medical isotopes and other peaceful research purposes, framing the program as a sovereign right under the NPT. Iran later denied the Reuters report claiming Mojtaba Khamenei had issued any directive regarding uranium. A senior Iranian official dismissed the report as enemy propaganda, aimed at derailing the negotiations. The official said Tehran still plans to downblend the enriched material on its own terms. Iran's foreign ministry also rejected claims that nuclear issues were formally included in talks with Washington. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghai said reports about enrichment and uranium transfers lacked credibility. Meanwhile, Al Jazeera reported that Iran and the US were nearing a deal and working on a draft agreement text.
The Vice President mentioned the other day there would be accommodations, they were willing to make accommodations with the Iranian deal. Could you kind of expand on those possible accommodations? Does that include...
When you say combination of what?
Accommodations, he's talking about accommodations as far as making the deal going. Would that include the proxies?
Right now we're negotiating, and we'll see. But either we're going to get it one way or the other. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. You know, when people hear it, because oftentimes they won't put up the second part of the sentence having to do with, I'll say, this is more important than anything that we have to talk about, and usually they'll cut it off, the fake news. I said, because this is the nuclearization of a country that some people would say is somewhat crazy, and we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all it is. We can't let it. You will have a nuclear war in the Middle East, and that war will come here, that war will go to Europe. We cannot let that happen, and it won't happen. It's not going to happen. That's more important than anything else. We can't think, I can think of nothing that's more important than the fact that we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and we won't. Yeah, Jeff?
Following up on that, sir, Iran is negotiating with Oman to set up a formalization of charging tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. Is that acceptable to you?
Well, we're looking at it. We hear about it. They've negotiated. They've had a relationship with them before, and we'll see. We have total control of the Strait of Hormuz, as you know, with our blockade. The blockade's been 100% effective. Nobody's been able to get through. It's like a steel wall. It's our Navy. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. We wiped out their Navy. We not wiped out their air. I think they're down to about, I would say we knocked out 85% of their missile capacity. It's very hard for them now to build missiles, to build drones. We have great drone technology, anti-drone technology now that, frankly, we didn't have even 2 months ago. We have unbelievable drone technology, both for making them and also for knocking them down. But look, we're going to either make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon, or we're going to have to do something very drastic. And the people of the country, I believe when it's put to the people of our country, they will all agree that we cannot let Iran have a nuclear
How
weapon.
do you want
Yes.
things to end up?
Daniel?
Just let me just one follow-up on that. How do you want things to end up with the Strait of Hormuz, though? Would you like them to have
Well, we
control
want
of
it
that?
open. We want it free. We don't want tolls. It's international. It's an international waterway. They're not charging tolls. Right now, they are losing $500 million a day is what it's projected. I don't know, it sounds like a lot of money, but whether it's 500 or 200 or 300, they're losing a lot of money. There hasn't been a ship that's been able to get through without our approval. And the Navy has done an amazing job. And no ship is going to Iran, as you know. No ship is going to, or out of Iran without our approval.